Okay, this is the Unit 7 Review Pocket, Topic 18D, which is numbers 22 and 23, so finding the inverse. So remember that exponential functions and logarithmic functions are inverses of each other. So if I want the inverse of a logarithmic function, it's going to be exponential. So my first step is perhaps maybe to see the y and the x here, because we have to switch x's and y's for inverses. So f of x is the same thing as saying y. So sometimes it helps just to write it so that you can see the y. So I haven't changed anything right now. This is f of x is the same thing as y. So now I'm going to swap my x's and my y's now that I can see the y. So this y here becomes an x, and this x over here becomes a y. So now I'm going to put an exponential form. So my base is 9. I raise that to the x, and that equals y. That's my inverse. So again, my first step here, all I did was write f of x as y. Nothing else changed here. And then for inverses, I switched my x's and my y's. So I'm going to swap my x's and y's. So that y became an x, that x became a y, and then I put in exponential form. So my base is 9. My base of my exponent is 9. To the x equals y. So now this one is an exponential form, which means it's going to end up in logarithmic form. So my first step, like I said, is just to write it so I can see the x and the y. So I haven't done anything this first step except instead of f of x, I'm using y. They're the same thing. So now, from here, I'm going to swap my x's and my y's. So this y becomes an x, and this x becomes a y. And now we're going to put it in logarithmic form because this is exponential. So my base is 1/4. So it's log base 1/4 of x equals y. So again, exponential functions and logarithmic functions are inverses. So if you start with an exponential one, you should end with a logarithmic. If you start with logarithmic, you should end with exponential.